Hello everybody and welcome to the Race Notebook for the 2022 British Grand Prix here at Silverstone, where we have seen quite a race, haven't we? Oh dear, sorry, I'm standing on their advert. Oh well, it's the end of the race, so don't need to know. Out now, just down in the middle there. Where we have seen quite a race. And I haven't enjoyed, I'm sure you haven't at home, I'm sure these nice people here haven't enjoyed a race at the end for quite some time. 5 cars, all of different teams, absolutely going for it at the end. And well, you know, got to say, one of the men of the day, men of the day, plural, were David Croft and Martin Brundle for some fantastic commentary through that. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And I was screaming as well. Everyone was screaming watching it in the pit lane and elsewhere, but it was a fantastic race. Won, of course, by Carlos Sainz in somewhat of a feel-good result for Ferrari. Ferrari, after 6 wins for Red Bull on the bounce, 5 out of the last 6 for Max Verstappen. Of course, the other one going to Sergio Perez at Monaco. Ferrari have won for the first time, must be since Melbourne. And yeah, they have done it in a great, as I say, feel-good result for Carlos Sainz. Now you might say, oh, here we go, we've got the Mick Schumacher celebrations. Oh, this is good. Oh, we'll get on to Ferrari in a second. So we should say congratulations to Mick Schumacher. This is lovely. They've chosen a slightly odd moment to do it because, as you can see on the right, Lee, it's the parade of cars exited from Parc Ferme. So there's been a slight delay to the Mick Schumacher celebrations while they wait for the cavalcade of cars from Parc Ferme. Where's the official team photographer here? Where is he? Where or she? Who are we waiting for? Right, have we now got a clear shot for this? Where are they? Where's the photographer? Here? Where? This is odd. Look, Lee, look. Who are we looking at? Is it this fellow with the New Zealand cap? Oh, anyway. Well, by the looks of him, he's already been drenched. But anyway, 3, 2, 1. This is good, isn't it? Oh, I see. They're just getting general pictures. 2, 3. Oh, just, you know, this is another feel-good result from Silverstone. Just being okay. Right now, they have to get the those annoying little metal things, clasps off the champagne before showing them. But yeah, another feel-good result is clearly Mick Schumacher's 8th place and his first points in Formula One after 2 years of very, very hard work. There is Mick. Lee, you can see going to the pit wall to shower the guys, and you can just see the relief on his face. And you know, Günther Steiner was saying, look, it's too much to say that everybody how much of a breakthrough this is, and now the floodgates will open. All those really annoying things that we tend to say. Well done, Mick. Those annoying things that we tend to say when people have their first points finish, that now the floodgates were open. Because that, if you say that, that will put even more pressure on young Mick Schumacher. So, you know, don't say that, Günther Steiner was saying, and just let him get on with it. Let him feel that he's got that pressure off his back. Let him feel that you know, it can be something where he can go from here. And heaven knows Kevin Magnussen knows what it's like. But yeah, we might as well do Haas while we're here. I know this is slightly out of sequence and before we've spoken about any of the other things in the race today. But Kevin Magnussen was 10th, and he gets a point for it. Mick Schumacher 8th, and he gets 4 points for that, I believe. And Kevin Magnussen just one stop, stayed out in the safety car, and got P10. Was 12 seconds, just 2 seconds ahead of Lance Stroll. So that was good for K-Mag. And Mick Schumacher ran well, pitted on lap 20, and closed up and passed Nicholas Latifi for 10th, then pitted under the final safety car. But Kevin stayed out. That was the crucial difference between them. And it was the right call for Mick Schumacher to pit under the safety car, put the soft tyre on, and then he went up to P8 and was fighting with, Mick Schumacher was fighting with Max Verstappen, which was under investigation for a while. Here is Gene Haas, the owner of the team, who is looking at all the marks on his nice front wing. And yeah, it was under investigation, but no further action was taken. And I don't know, a penny for Gene Haas's thoughts on a day like this. You happy, Gene? It's great to have that.
Yeah, great race. I mean, we thought that qualifying in the back was bad, but it actually turned out to be very, very good omen. for us.
Your feelings for Mick today on his first points in F1?
Ah, it's awesome. You know, it's always good to break that and get through, and let's see if we can repeat it on Austria.
Great stuff. All right, thank you, Gene. Yeah, and we'll leave Kevin to his extremely tall friends there. Are they tall, or is it just that Kevin's short? I mean, Kevin is short. He's a perfect racing driver, but they seem to be particularly tall. All right. Yeah, so, OK, there you go. There's that's the scene at the Haas garage. I'll do Alfa Romeo in a minute, and then we'll move down the teams in order. Before that, I will tell you about the protesters. What should we call it? We should call it the protesters. Now, look, we're not talking about this. There were 7 or so. We believe there are 7 who are currently in custody. We do believe they are environmental protesters. I don't know whether they're from Stop Oil or whoever it was, but you'll know that if you're across the internet. And we wouldn't want to. Anyway, they're environmental protesters, and the feeling from everyone in the paddock. The word is that they were not targeting F1. They weren't anti-F1, not least because F1 will be stopping oil in 4 years' time when we go to completely sustainable fuels, and we won't be mining fossil fuels for our race fuel. So F1's part of the solution. Don't know if they know that or not. Don't know if they also know that thanks to Formula One technology and power unit engineers, F1 has led to the most efficient engines in automotive history. It's because of F1 that we've got 50% efficiency in engines, the engines that are back in the back of all of these cars, whereas the engines on a bus or maybe the taxi or maybe the cars that drive are only 30% efficient. So F1 is clearly part of the solution rather than part of the problem. So it seems like the environmental protesters were just they were not targeting F1, they were not anti-F1, there you go, Lico for a wonder, but they were using F1 and its global TV audience as a mechanism to further their cause. F1 was prepared for this. Silverstone circuit was prepared for this. The police were prepared for this. But, and F1 is happy for them to have a voice, protesters to have a voice. Of course they are. Everyone who wants to protest about something as important as the environment should have a voice. But to do something as stupid as this, where they could have killed themselves, or they could have killed a driver, or they could have killed a marshal, is clearly irresponsible way to go about your protests. As I say, 7 of them are in custody. We'll see what happens, and not the wisest way to further your cause by doing that. Clearly, if it happened without the Zhou Guanyu incident, that there would have been a red flag for all of those people on the track while they were cleared away. So it seems that it was just pure luck, not for Zhou Guanyu and everybody who ended up in the wall down there, obviously, that the race was red flagged anyway at the point at which they chose to saunter onto the track around the Wellington Straight and sit in the middle of the Wellington Straight. And had it not been for that, for the accident, for which the race was rightly red flagged, because they could see, race control could see that Zhou Guanyu had actually cleared the barrier, then it would have been clearly red flagged for the protesters. But in a sense, they chose precisely the wrong moment to do it because they never appeared on the TV. So that's what I've been told was the latest from Formula One. Right, let's do Alfa Romeo Sauber, seeing as we're here, and then we can go down the pit lane, see if we can see Carlos Sainz or anybody coming out to say hello to the crowd like we are here. Yes, hello everybody. Yes, hello. And it was a very, very nasty crash, was it not, for Zhou Guanyu? Oh dear, I'm standing all over the advert again. So are you, Lee. Oh no, shouldn't stand on the advert. A bad day for Valtteri Bottas as well and Zhou Guanyu, because it's a double DNF. Valtteri Bottas ran well in 8th, had to pit and retire with a gearbox problem, which they are investigating. And Zhou Guanyu, with a very nasty accident, was hit by several people, flipped over, the car dug in, took out the rollover hoop, but the Halo head protection system did a great job, flipped the car over and went over the tyre wall and onto the Armco. You can understand why the garage is down, because that car is in a very nasty condition, to say the least. And almost like one of those crashes you see on the internet from Thruxton or somewhere like that in British in motor racing, cleared the tyre wall and then ended up on the Armco on the other side. with next to the catch fencing. So yeah, that was very nasty indeed, and glad to see that Zhou Guanyu is okay. Right, we've done Haas, so let's talk about Mercedes, shall we? And then maybe we'll take a break and go into the paddock and see whether Ferrari are doing a photo or anything. And they believe they could have won this race. Make no mistake about it. They were racing, considering what they've gone through. To say that Mercedes were thinking about winning the race and trying to win the race is amazing when you think about what they've been going through recently. But they were, and Toto Wolff kind of said that afterwards. Lewis Hamilton was third in the end. George Russell was a DNF because of the crash. Well, because his car was only punctured, not because of anything really. Hello, I'm doing Mercedes at the moment. Mercedes. There you go. You can get some of the nice people on telly so they can see themselves. It's always nice to see yourself on telly, isn't it? A bit of a thrill. So yeah, it was a good start for Lewis Hamilton. For the first start, he got past Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc to P3, but in the end it was all for nothing because they shuffled the order back again. He started P5 for the second race, but eventually. He ran third, eventually, once it started, behind the Ferraris. Once they stopped, he stopped much later than them and was going for the tyre offset. And that, in a sense, was frustrating, especially for Mercedes, given that they think they could have been maybe second, but maybe even more than that, better than that, had the race not stopped because of had a safety car because of Ocon conking out. So yeah, it was a bit of an annoying one. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened with the tyre offset. I might find out and then let you know in Austria once they crunch all the numbers down here at Mercedes what would have happened. A what if, we like a what if, had the race actually finished, and what if Hamilton would have been able to use that tyre offset with the fresher hard tyres, which were working quite well, and see what he would have done with the Ferraris. But I suppose we didn't find out, we'll never know. But Lewis had a bit of a poor restart, was kind of thinking, maybe was he thinking you should have put mediums on, team, you should have put mediums on rather than the softs after the safety car, I don't know. That would have looked like an odd decision at the time to put the yellow mediums on when the soft was obviously a quicker tyre, but maybe that car the Mercedes doesn't like the soft tyre particularly, although it doesn't heat its tyres up very quickly. That's another characteristic of this car, and that would have been even worse perhaps potentially on the medium tyre than it was on the soft. But anyway, listen, it was a fighting drive from Lewis Hamilton. I'm not going to argue with him, Lee, so I'll come over here. The only negative thing he had to say was that we need to be, we've got to sharpen up in the pit stops, where they lost a second and a half, which didn't help Lewis at all. But hey, they get away. They do mostly pretty good pit stops down at Mercedes, so in any case. But George Russell started on the hard tyre, had no grip off the start, because that's what happens when you're on this hard tyre. Got swamped, got touched in the Gasly pinch, is what I'm going to call it, and was out due to outside assistance from some they thought they were being helpful marshals, but in the end they could have. He apparently only had a puncture, and he could really have restarted the race, but didn't manage to. Good, yes, everybody here. Hello. How are you? Hope you had a good day. That's good. This is the goat. The goat is apparently the thing that sign the goat. Right. Okay. All right. Do we have a pen for the goat? We were just talking about Lewis Hamilton. We just did the Lewis Hamilton bit. He was racing for the win today. To dear goat. Dear goat. There you go. Dear goat. I put dear goat, comma Ted. Is that all right? Yes, the goat. No. He's the goat. He's the goat. Clearly the goat. Right, so that's Mercedes done. Done 14 minutes. Should we do Red Bull, and then we'll take a break, and we'll find out where the Ferrari photo is, because that'll be good to see. What a day for Charlotte, for Carlos Sainz, and he deserves a bit of a photo action, doesn't he? Red Bull, and Max Verstappen 7th, Sergio Perez 2nd, and Max Verstappen took the lead of the race twice, first in race 1 and then in race 2 on lap 11 after a mistake from Sainz. Well, Sainz was just pushing so hard and went off in Maggots Beckett's. Thought he had a puncture. It wasn't. It was a hole in the floor or some debris stuck in the Venturi tunnels. Now, these are the bits underneath. You know, those crazy bits that you can see. Oh, we're being told to go away. All right, good. Thank you very much. Yes, gone a bit closer. Yeah, so we can't see. Yeah, there you go. Lovely. So the tunnels that you see, you know, the floor, those wavy bits you see on the floor. So just ahead of that, these huge things at the front of the floor, they lead into Venturi tunnels underneath the car. And that's all part of how the ground effect works. And if you put a hole in that, or they're not effective, especially on the Red Bull, which has got great downforce and they work really well, you're going to lose a lot of downforce, and that's exactly what happened to Max Verstappen. So that explains what happened to him. And then just dropped down the order, had a couple of pit stops, one to change the tyres, which were fine. They weren't punctured. There was nothing wrong with them. He came in, they were all blown up. I thought they don't look punctured, and it seems that my eyes weren't that bad. That was indeed the case. But yeah, it didn't get much better. Dropped down from 4th to 6th, and then got 7th in the end in a fight with Mick Schumacher. But there's some points on a bad day for Max Verstappen here at Silverstone. So not able to avenge what he saw was the injustice of last year. Sergio Perez 2nd, and terrible start from him, down from 4th to 6th. Didn't get better on start 2. Clashed with Charles Leclerc, pitted for a new front wing. That took ages, absolutely ages. But they do with these very cumbersome front wings, as I said in the commentary. Rejoined last, but great recovery for Sergio Perez to get P2 in the end. Right, we will take a break. Heaven knows what's happening with the Ferrari photo. If it is happening, I don't think it's happening here, because this chap with the with his soft-sided articulated truck clearly wants to take some stuff back to Italy, or straight to Austria, I'd imagine. There you go. I've always wondered what's in the back of these trucks. It's some Ferrari packing cases. So I don't know if there's going to be a science photo. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But join us in a bit to find out, as we'll do some more Notebook. Hi, welcome back to the Race Notebook for the 2022 British Grand Prix. And yeah, we're digesting what was a very amusing race at the end. It's meant to say hiya, hiya. Maybe could you not get the Y and the A? You know, at the end of the second part, I always say hiya, hiya. Anyway, who made this? Whose dinner table cloth has this ruined?
It's his. We painted it.
Oh well, thank you very much, madam. Thank you so much. Well, sorry, what? Oh, there you are. I can't see you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The sun is in my eyes. So, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah. Do you want me to sign? Oh, I haven't got time. Okay. All right. I haven't got time. There we go. There we go. That's the tiniest signature on there. All right. Good. Okay. Good. Well, thank you very much for ruining the flag, sir. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Right. So the situation with the Ferrari photo is that we think it's happening down yonder. Can you see? So we're going to do the other teams, and then hopefully end up there and see Carlos Sainz celebrating his first win. Where we can do, Lee, can you follow me down the stairs? Because we can have a look into the Aston Martin garage, where in the Silverstone dip they have scored some points here, where we consider with their starting positions from the last of the grid, was 20th and 18th, is pretty good. So both drivers made up places. Sorry, Vettel 9th and Lance Stroll 11th. Both made up places at this first start, but they were shuffled down for the restart. Lance Stroll pitted on lap 18 and then again under the safety car, which was good, and he finished 11th, 2 seconds behind Kevin Magnussen for P10, so 2 seconds off a point. And Sebastian Vettel, great race on his birthday, where his kids and his helmet supplier Jens Munzer surprised him with a helmet crash design that his kids had done for him, which is absolutely beautiful. So have a look on the social media to see the very cute helmet crash helmet design that Seb's 3 kids, Emily, Matilda, and I don't know his son's, not sure his son's name, have actually done for him. It's very, very sweet. And so he's got P9 and a couple of points, and started the race on the soft tyre, pitted on lap 8 onto the medium, and then that meant that onto the safety car, Seb could pit again onto another medium because he'd used 2 sets of tyres, which worked well for him. And he only got passed by Mick Schumacher for 8th, and Seb finished 9th, which is good for him. Williams, Alex Albon was a DNF, and Nicholas Latifi, from his great position, starting position, was 12th. He had a great second start on the soft tyre, pitted on lap 22. I don't have any more information about him because the Williams press department, when I asked them, just basically said no and didn't want to say anything. So I don't have any more information on Nicholas Latifi, but he's finished 12th. So well done him. I'd love to tell you more, but I can't. And Alex Albon was a DNF. He was involved in a very nasty crash into the barrier at high speed, and has been airlifted to Coventry Hospital. Again, I'd like to update you as to Alex's condition, but that information was not supplied to me by the Williams press department for some reason, which I don't really understand, because I did ask. Okay, let's do Fernando Alonso. And it's a pretty good race for him. You've got to say, P5 here at Alpine. He moved up on the first start, and again at the second, up to P6, was chasing Lando Norris, got passed onto the safety car when McLaren rather threw away their strategy and threw away P5 for Lando, and under the Ocon safety car, and then pulled away and secured P5. Very comfortable in the end it was for Fernando Alonso. So great result for the Fons. Esteban Ocon was involved in that first crash that stopped the race. They fixed his car under the red flag, which was very good luck for Esteban, but then it turned out being absolutely nothing because the fuel pump failed. He was a DNF and brought out the second, the last safety car. McLaren, I've got sort of mixed feelings because 6th place for Lando is okay, but they got beaten by Alpine, which is what they really didn't want to do to happen today. And Daniel Ricciardo was out the points, so it's a lonely 4th with Lando. They pitted to cover Fernando Alonso. All right. Oh, I see, the fault list coming back. Oh, that's what you're doing. Okay, that's fine. He pitted to cover, well, he was running a lonely 4th, pitted to cover Fernando Alonso, which he did. So Lando was 4th, stayed ahead. But then when Lando, well, as he said, they messed up their timing with the safety car, and they got allowed Fernando to steal 5th from them, the McLaren. So Lando was 6th in the end. Alonso was too quick and dropped Lando, and Lando finished 2 seconds behind Fernando Alonso. And I have a not upside down, a sad face in my notebook about that. And I also have a sad face for Daniel Ricciardo's race because there was a DRS issue. It didn't work. That didn't really help him at all. And he did stop for the second safety car for a soft tyre, but then he could do no better than 13th. And that's another sad face. So I think we've done everyone apart from Ferrari. We've done Alpine, we've done McLaren, we haven't done Ferrari, done Red Bull, done Mercedes. Who are these 3 here? Hello. Well, I'll do Ferrari, shall I? And, well, which driver is in contention for the World Championship this year? Is it Carlos Sainz or is it Charles Leclerc? And that's essentially what Charles Leclerc was saying in his radio messages. Look, on a day when Max Verstappen isn't going to score very many points, shouldn't it be me, really, given that I'm in the championship against Max Verstappen, who's taking the 25 points in the win? And the team kind of agreed with him halfway through, but he had the clash with Sergio Perez early on, which broke his front wing end plate. So he's already driving a Ferrari with 5 points less downforce. And as I said in the commentary box, I think looking by the end plate, it was more than that. But they started to think then with the trying to move things around that they wanted, or they needed Charles Leclerc to take the maximum points. Of course, Carlos Sainz wasn't having that. It's his race. He was on pole position. He wanted to win it. And I thought that was interesting what Carlos said afterwards. I followed what the team told me to do at all times. Yeah. Apart from at the end, when he didn't want to compromise his race and to back everybody up to try and make sure Charles Leclerc won, which is absolutely all fair enough. Listen, this is all fair enough. And I thought the key thing about why didn't they box, why didn't they pit Charles Leclerc at the same time, why didn't they stack them at the same time as Carlos Sainz under that last safety car and give them both soft tyres? I think this is a hangover from the chaos that lost Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. Because remember, when they came in, there was that mistake. Pit, no, don't, stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out. I think the investigation of that, which clearly must have concluded with, well, when we tried to stack them, it was a disaster. I think they were afraid on the pit wall, it's only a theory, that stacking was a bad idea because of what happened in Monaco, and they didn't want to do it. What that meant, of course, was that they guaranteed that Charles Leclerc was going to lose the race, and they pretty much guaranteed that Carlos Sainz was going to win the race. Look, I'm appearing on my own 10-foot boom pole here. Hello, testing, testing. Is that loud enough? Yes. Do you want me to say something pithy for Drive to Survive? And what a day for Ferrari, but they won with the wrong car. That'll never make the Drive to Survive edit, will it? It'll never make the Drive to Survive edit, no. What a feel-good result for Carlos Sainz. That'll never make the Drive to Survive edit. It's terrible. They're not even rolling. They're not even wasting the digits on me. You think I'll make it onto Drive to Survive with that? No? No? Never. Right. So that's what happened. And listen, Carlos Sainz, what a legend. What a feel-good story. I know I've already said it. And I don't think we're going to see him because I think we're going to run out of time before we finish, because there's absolutely no sign of Carlos Sainz turning up, which is a shame, but hey, they're overrunning, you can understand it. But he got a second chance on the second start and held on, having been overtaken on the first start by Max Verstappen, held on for 11 laps, but lost the rear of the car of Beckett's, and it was an easy pass for Max Verstappen. But then he inherited back the lead, stopped on lap 22, and with an offset strategy to Charles Leclerc and to Max Verstappen, we never saw how it would have turned out, because Ferrari pitted Carlos Sainz for soft tyres under the safety car and not Charles Leclerc, and that sealed the deal, sealed the win for Carlos Sainz for his first win in Formula One. And I'll have to get my lookers on for this. Have the engravers engraved the name yet for Carlos Sainz and Ferrari? No. Oh.
Soon.
Right. Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? Sarah, sorry.
There is another base. I'm afraid I couldn't carry it all at once, which is very disappointing. But,
all right. Isn't that nice? So, yeah. So Carlos Sainz added to the names of Jones, Watson, Alain Prost, Nigel Mansell, Damon Hill, Johnny Herbert. What's he doing on there? There he is, Johnny Herbert, Jacques Villeneuve, Michael Schumacher, David Coulthard, all of that. Luigi Villaraci. You see, that's what I like. And all these Ferrari drivers who've won the British Grand Prix in the past. Silverstone has often been a happy hunting ground for Ferrari, hasn't it? They've got their own tifosi, their own support. They've even got a few British people working in the team. And it's proved to be, once again, and especially for Carlos Sainz. So we've run out of time, so yeah, have a look at it on, you'll see it on all the socials, but we'll say well done Carlos Sainz, and we'll leave you with a picture of his trophy and some sort of moderately happy looking Ferrari mechanics. Thanks very much for watching. We'll all see you in Austria in a week's time. I'll be there. Actually, Simon won't be there. He's doing some species research at Otmore Bird Sanctuary, so he won't be there. But Natalie will be helming us all, keeping us all in check, and looking after the show in her brilliant way in Austria. And I'll be there, so the notebook will return in Zeltweg in Spielberg in a week's time. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed that race, because it was really a cracker. And vamos, Carlos Sainz. Bye-bye.